My next meet is going to be the USAPL New Jersey Summer Classic on June 5th. So, yes, I'll be returning to the USAPL. I'll be returning to the 66 kilogram, 145 pound weight class. So, yes, I am moving back up in weight classes, going up against bigger, stronger guys once again. And this will actually be the longest period of time I've had between meets in my entire career. I haven't had more than 16 weeks between meets at all, and I'll actually have 17 weeks. So, obviously, with that much time, a lot has gone on since Raw Unity, and I've had a lot of thinking. Like, a couple of my lifters competed at the RPS meet, and they both got red lighted on their opening squat, which, as a coach, admittedly will drive you nuts. Your opening squat, you really shouldn't be cutting depth with it. You want to make sure that opener is convincingly deep, that, you don't set yourself up by failure by getting red lighted on a weight that you should be smoking easily. But it did get me thinking about the fact that both of those lifters are still fairly new to the game and dealing with nerves, and I started thinking about my own training and the nerves that I deal with. And even now, I deal with a lot of nerves. I mean, as proud as I am of what I accomplished at Raw Unity 9, now, especially going up a weight class, there's this overwhelming feeling that, I got to train harder. These guys are so much bigger and stronger. And, I really got to put up some really good numbers. And, when things don't go your way, and certainly I've had my share of bad meets and bad workouts, it can be really hard. I know one of my training partners asked me why I'm so hard on myself, and it did get me thinking a little bit. I mean, I've always held myself to a high standard, and I think that's part of what makes me a great lifter. Part of what has made me accomplish what I had on the platform and in life in general is that I always hold myself to a high standard. And I know Ben Rice, in a recent video of his, The Excuse Paradox, talked about how there are some people who make excuses, and then there are others who are absolutely against excuses at all costs. And I'd like to think that I belong to the latter group, but the reality is there are advantages and disadvantages to both camps. I mean, on the one hand, if you take responsibility for your actions, it does lead to a greater level of accountability and a greater sense of control over your own success. But at the same time, it can make failure a lot harder to deal with. Just because I should have done better. I can't really think of any sort of excuse as to why I failed, but yet I did fail. So it's hard to deal with because I really didn't want to fail, and yet I did. And so it's something that I've been dealing with my whole life. It doesn't just apply to lifting. It's applied to school, it's applied to work, it's applied to personal relationships, pretty much everything I've gone through in my life. And I know I've accomplished a lot. I definitely have a lot of things to be proud of, and yet whenever I do fail, whenever I miss a lift, or whenever I don't do well on an exam, or let someone down, it always hurts. The pain never goes away. And yeah, in a sense, just like those pre-meet jitters, that anxiety that goes with competition, that never really goes away either. And if anything, now that I'm competing at a national level, the stakes are higher. It's a lot harder to make progress. You're going up against much tougher competition. There's very little room for error, and so there is a lot more pressure to succeed. So the anxiety never really goes away. You just learn to deal with it. And so, there's that old saying that you see a lot in these, motivational gym memes, which, I honestly hate, but I think it's definitely true here that you don't, it doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. And, I think, as you grow, you learn to deal with the emotions, both the positive and negative, learn to embrace them, and learn how to use them to your own advantage. Because the emotions are always going to be there. It's just how you deal with it that's going to be different from person to person. And that's all I have on that subject. I'll leave you with the full sound on a couple of PRs that I thought were memorable. Again, embracing the emotions I have had. So until then, see ya.
Up.